Break every chain. I visualize snatching and breaking the chain off a nigga's neck to see if it'll free him or if he'll die by that shit. I remember my brother offering me this gold chain with the diamond and ruby cross. I said nah, because I know where I'd have to go to all-out war if somebody tried to take that off. My brother gave me that. I guess you can say that I was scared of that or apprehensive. I wonder if the ancestors find it offensive, how motherfuckers make fashionable what was once used to put us in bondage. Man, what the fuck I mean was, on my court trip, that shit was wrapped around my hips, clipped to my wrists, and on both ankles. Dipping them in platinum and gold and stone, and I guess I'll be cold. Break that shit, the mentality in the state's whole. Give us free. I can yield that, but I'm only certain about me. The work I put in to make sure that I can successfully exit the penitentiary. Psychologically, I've had to go back, analyze lack, how being black, how my environment and conditions led me to being to where I'm at. Following the links, I made the connections. I made the corrections of what I thought was and how I think. I got to the brink and I broke that shit. No more slinging dope and shit. No more false religious hopes and shit. No longer allowing another to define me without me letting them know who I be. And I am. And no amount of chains will keep me bound. Because with this brain, I know I can break every chain.
Welcome to the Stubbs Show. Please note that the views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Stubbs Show, its hosts, sponsors, or affiliates. Our platform welcomes guests from diverse cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives from around the world. The content shared is intended for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us as we engage in respectful conversations and celebrate the power of diverse voices and experiences. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Stubbs, and welcome to another episode of the Stubbs Show. On today's episode, I am in my car heading on over to the MGM Casino in Temple Hills, Maryland, so that I will be able to do a sit-down, in-person interview with my special guest on today. Now, you guys know I normally do the virtual interviews, but since he's local, I said, let me head on over to the MGM and get that backdrop and have a sit-down conversation, because my guest on today is talking about his freedom. And he's talking about his stay in prison and prison reform, and why he's now out in the community. So what better place to be than outside with a great background? So I got my tripod, I got my little handy dandy bag with me. You know, I got all this good energy with me. I got to dance around a little bit. So let's get ready to kick this show off and get this interview started. All right, you guys, I'm getting ready to get into my interview with author J.S. Russell on today. We are out here at the National Harbor, the MGM to be exact, in Maryland, and it is beautiful. I'm ready to talk to him about his freedom and also mixing some of his past and help you guys to learn more about why you need to connect with him, purchase his book, and bring him out to speak. It is people like him, community leaders like him, that help to build our youth and help to put community back together. So let's get ready going over here and talk to him. You ready for your interview today?
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
How you enjoying this view?
Man, it's amazing. You know, this wasn't here when I last left society. So
what year was that?
Amazing. 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
So how long have you been out?
Right now it's been between 2 to 3 years, and I say it because I got a couple release dates: release from prison, then the release from the Jew house, which I was at. It was the inpatient facility.
Okay, and what's the difference?
So, released from prison mean I was no longer incarcerated in the state system, but I still had to be confined with PG in the inpatient facility, which I had GPS monitoring, and I didn't have permission to leave until I completed that first 6 months of the phase of the reentry program.
Oh, so you didn't have your complete freedom.
Nah, I'm still don't have my complete. I'm still on probation, even though it's unsupervised.
It's always a way for them to continue to hold you and hold that attachment on you. Just in case you mess up, they can just wind you right back in.
Yeah, but I did that to myself though. So.
Accountability. I love that
Mhm.
because in order to move forward, you need to have accountability.
Yeah.
So, how have you been enjoying your freedom so far?
Man, I get to have views like this. I couldn't see this in the joint,
I
you
bet you
know,
couldn't.
or just have a casual conversation with a woman, like stuff like that. As far as staff inside,
Hmm.
it was definitely restricted. You could talk about something, but everything had to deal with the institution.
Well,
So,
I'm glad to have you out, brother, and I'm glad that you're doing the things that you are doing and helping others because so many get out and they reoffend and go right back in within a year or so. So, thank you for being out. So, for those meeting you for the first time, which is today on the show,
mhm.
can you tell us who you are and what you're passionate about today?
Well, I mean, that could be complex as far as who I am, because I've grown so much and I'm still in the process of growing. But I could definitely tell you about what I'm passionate about today. Like the work that I do, writing freedom, that's my brand. It's just basically changing the narrative. Like you were just talking about, so many come out and reoffend. So while I was in there, I was analyzing the common thread with the different people that were in. I'm saying those things that led into incarceration, those things that may lead to people coming back and what I could actually possibly do to change that. Because one of the things that what I seen was that there's a lot of people that look like us, and then we not the majority. So after learning certain things, like how the 13th Amendment that also freed the slaves,
Hmm.
also has its part in there that if you become a felon and you convicted, then again you back and you can offer slave or cheap labor. And so that's what I seen on the compound. And being that this country was built on that, it was like, man, trying to change the dynamic because I'm a firm believer that if you invest in people, they'll
Yeah.
be able to do more.
Hmm.
So it's not about just how you can get over or build off of people. It's like let's invest in people so that people can do more. And I believe truly with the work that me and some of the other guys that I deal with do, once we're able to help that, we'll have more people to be productive citizens.
Yes, and we need that because, like you said, you see a lot of us in there, and our children out on the streets don't have their parents investing in them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have family members investing in them. So many times we don't understand that if we support our children, it don't even have to be the parent. It could be someone like you and myself, an
Mm-hmm.
aunt, an uncle, community leader come in, the neighbor, support that child. They have more confidence. They have more drive and they have more knowledge to move forward in what they do. So, what was life like before your incarceration, and what were some of the circumstances that led you down that road?
So um, it was sometimes I was doing good, sometimes I was doing bad. So right before the incarceration, though, I was pretty much heavily in the street selling narcotics and maybe some firearms and some other stuff. Basically getting some money. It was during the time of that recession, and I had just came from selling cars at 100% commission, which I really wasn't getting no money because nobody buying cars in a recession. So that
Yeah.
was a lesson that I had to learn because I previously was doing some construction. I was and that was off a phase of getting my life right from when I had messed up the last time.
Okay.
So I was doing that and then struggling like that. I was like, man, let me go back and get some money. And that thing led to some other stuff where, unfortunately, a young man lost his life. And then I ended up going into the system.
you know, um, it's unfortunate that that happened to you, but it's always a process.
Hmm.
And usually, many times when we chase money or we're trying to think that money is going to fix something, it gets us
Hmm.
deeper into the problem. I heard a pastor say the other day that that's Satan's way of just pulling us in. But thank you for that honesty. I was looking at you, looking at him like he don't look like he like none of that. So during your time incarcerated, what were some of the biggest lessons you learned about yourself?
Um,
that it was going to all depend on me. Like I really couldn't, like you mentioned, God. Like first of all, I had to totally rely on Him because there was no way else that I would be out here. Because with a first degree murder charge, I could have got life plus
Yeah.
the gun charge, the felony in possession of a gun, firearm, and commission of all of this plus, which unfortunately some people are fighting to get back after that. But it was a life or suspended year sentence. So then it was just, 50-year sentence. And then I'm like, all right, well, let me see what I could do to work that down. And there was no reentry court that was helping people get home at that time. There was no money that I could ask for to get a good attorney or some
Yeah.
other thing, no law. So, me doing that work had allowed me to rely on God and also know that it was going to be on me to
Yeah,
get
you got to
myself
start
out
doing the work to
because,
save yourself.
yeah, wasn't nobody else going to do it for me.
Uh-uh.
It's people that when I came home ain't believed that I was like, they thought
Yeah.
that wrote me off. Like, you got all that time, you got to do,
And
a lot
still
more.
looking you for and made it out because God knew and the universe knew they needed you for something better and
Hmm.
something different, and that you were going to be bold enough, confident enough, and strong enough to get out and actually do it. We get ready to take a quick break, you guys. We'll be right back here on the Stubbs Show with author J.S. Russell. Mount Calvary Baptist Church of Lanham invites you to participate in their shoe drive. Join their shoe drive and make a difference this June 15th through August the 15th. They are taking donations of gently worn, used, or new shoes you no longer need. Give them a second life by donating to their shoe drive. For more information, make sure you contact 301 577 4882. They're at the Four Corners International Mission Inc., 5120 Whitfield Chapel Road, Lanham, Maryland. All right, where are all my people 55 and older living in the Philadelphia area? RB Wellness Center presents Revive and Thrive. That's right, this class is for adults 55 and older. It's a $15 per class, 1 hour event starting at 10 a.m. and I believe tea and fruit are included. So if you live in the Philadelphia area and you're 55 and older and you're looking to build strength, balance, and confidence, make sure you contact them on this flyer so that you can sign up. The starting date is Wednesday, July 8th. So they started last week, and the number you should contact is 267-310-1382. Okay, Washington, D.C. residents, this next event is for you. The annual Chuck Brown Day is coming up on Saturday, August the 22nd, and it will be taking place at Fort DuPont Park. This is part of the DPR summer events. So for more information, you can actually go to dprevents.com or chuckbrownday.com. I look forward to seeing y'all there.
J.S. Russell with the final book of the Right and Freedom series. Make sure you check me out at my website, www.inspiring-word.us, or check me out on my social media platforms, Instagram, JS Russell56, JS Russell on YouTube, JS Russell on Facebook as well. Just go ahead and search JS Russell and see what you come up with.
Come on over.
Love this out here.
It's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice view. I sometimes come up here. You got to come up here at night.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'd already had it on my once
Yeah.
I'm up here. I'm plotting. I say, yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta come
clear
see
your
this.
mind, and you're a writer, so when you come up here, no telling what'll come through your mind while you're on here. But welcome back to the Stubbs Show, you guys. We're just enjoying, like I said, this view is beautiful. Talking with someone that actually appreciates life. I can't just say freedom. I'm going to say life, because many times we take it for granted, not understanding that just one move, one step, one action, and you can lose this freedom right here. You can lose your life, which is your freedom and your peace. So author J.S. Russell is my guest for today, and when we left, we were talking about his incarceration And I don't want to talk too much about that because he's also an author with a book out, a published book, and a community leader. And I want to get into some of those topics as well. But my next question for you is, what was harder, surviving incarceration or rebuilding your life after coming home, and why?
I think the incarceration. I say that because there were so many mental challenges, right? So I spent the time preparing for the freedom. That's why that wasn't as hard, even though it came with a lot of anxiety versus the various transitions.
Mm-hmm.
But during that incarceration, I've lost so many loved ones.
Yeah.
I had to really kind of figure out, and then I had to figure out myself. Like I felt like it was at a point that I actually matured to a man in there. I come from a family with a lot of women, so there wasn't a lot of examples of men and it's guys in the streets. So elsewhere, it wasn't exactly the best example. So it was those times, and even the battling with myself, with what happened there, how I got there,
Yeah.
dealing with, the whole court issue and everything else I was dealing with. So it was a place where I really had to battle my demons as well as the environment in itself.
Yeah. So when you went in, were you upset and angry? Like, did it take you some time to adjust? Did you go in with the mindset of, I just don't give a, fuck, for lack of better words, and I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and I don't care about other people? Or did you go in with the mindset of, I got to get myself out and I'm going to maintain myself?
So the situation was something that wasn't supposed to happen. Like,
Okay.
it wasn't like it was an accident, but that wasn't how I planned out my day. Not
Right.
even my evening,
Yeah.
to be doing. So it's like, damn, I really messed up. And not only did the person lose their life, but then I had threw mines all the way off. And I
That's
felt
true.
like I had me a little bit of change at the time that I was doing and or being in a spot where I could start enjoying life differently, and all of that was gone. So that was one of the things that made everything a little different. And I had to really also evaluate that I ain't get that money right, you know, and I had to like really think about, all right, now what is it that I need to do to better myself? But that's where I was going in at that point.
And did you have support while you were in there
Yeah.
and coming home?
So I'm my mother's only, so always got
Okay.
moms. Then family that be supportive, But the thing that what I had to learn too about that process is that, people have lives,
Yeah.
and it's tough, trying to do stuff. And I had family members, some of them that did more than others. Some of them I had to realize and back off and realize that I'm asking a whole lot,
Yeah.
trying to get stuff accomplished or trying to do stuff while I was in it. I was incapable of doing because of all of the barriers.
And I know they moved you around.
No, not
Not
really.
really?
Fortunately, I after leaving Upper Marlboro, PG County Detention Center, I went to JCI for processing because DOC was closed down. Then I
Mm-hmm.
was in RCI, which is Roxbury Correctional Institution in Hagerstown for the rest of my bit.
As you're talking, it jogs our mind to think about, when we look back at our journey, you pay attention, you can actually see how the process was and that God was in it and saving you the whole time.
Absolutely.
It was hard, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been for some
Hmm.
people because you had a role to play out here in society.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to get into your book.
Okay.
All right. All right. So let's now get into your book. I mean, you have so many. What's the total?
It's actually 14 that I self-published since I've been home, but I think it may just be 10 that's actually print books. The rest of them are ebooks and children's
So
books
these
that I
are the
got.
same ones?
They're actually continuations.
Okay,
So
different
that's volume
versions.
2, that's volume 3. This was volume 1.
Okay,
Um,
so writing from freedom, and
Writing
that's the main
freedom.
one. Writing freedom, and that's
Yeah.
the main one we're focusing on. The most recent
The
one,
most recent one is this Freedom Written.
30 Days to Freedom. So
Hmm.
he has a lot of books that you can purchase and go on his website at the link below to check it out. J.S. Russell. But we're focusing now on the most recent, which is Freedom Written, 30 Days to Freedom. So where did that title come from?
So Pen America, right, who actually helped me with, and I don't even know if I had that here. But anyway, nah, I don't. They had an exercise 30 poems in 30 days
Hmm.
for the month of April, which is
Okay.
Second Chance Month, but also Poetry Month.
Okay.
So when they did that exercise, I said, why not do something while I was in the Jew house the last 30 days
Hmm.
leading to my freedom? I came up with my own, I guess, titles of the various poems, and then I just did that exercise. I wrote every morning, to complete that last 30
And
days.
was able to publish it
Yes.
when you came home. You kept yourself busy, which is a good thing. So you are now an author. What inspired you to write your books, and what message do you hope readers take away?
So what happened was, even before I got incarcerated, I wanted to type up because I had been doing poetry for years, writing, and with that whole situation, I lost all of my writing. So I never wanted to do that, lose my work, not have it protected. So while I was in, I learned the copyright process, and then it was a good brother of mine named Sean Gardner, who's still in, and he had a self-publishing class at RCI.
Okay.
So he taught us, a bunch of other brothers who later became BTW mentors, the process of how we could self-publish using, at that time it was Create Space
Hmm.
or maybe Book Baby or anything, using these resources and doing it from behind the wall.
So, was there a chapter that was especially difficult for you to write and brought back painful memories?
Not necessarily with this because it was poems, but I'm gonna tell you just what happened recently. Um, I had like a book release with family and everything, and so I
Hmm.
just picked random poems to read to them. And so the one that I read about family kind of choked me up because I got to mentioning the folks that were no longer there. Those people that invested in me to help me become who I am.
How does a man handle those emotions to lose people behind bars and not have the ability to see them, on their last days or go to the funeral? How did you handle those emotions there and now home? Do you hold yourself to that or?
So at certain times, depending on the relationship or what was going on with me, some of that was crushing, you know, drinking illegal wine in there, but the writing has always been therapeutic for me. So that was a release, being able to actually go ahead and speak to somebody in sight, because they do have therapy available for folks that want to take advantage of it in it, or sometimes just being around folks that understand. But yeah.
I once again I got to keep saying, I'm just proud of you, just hearing you talk and some of your journey. And with me being a life coach and other things, I can hear that it seems like your mental health is stable. You took time to work on it because you're ready to move forward instead of move backwards. And to hear that you had started the process of and always loved writing. If you wouldn't have went in there, I'm not sure you would have did all these books. What about you?
Now I probably would have been on a federal indictment for drug trafficking or something like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been different, or it could have happened to me because I mean that's what happens, and that's the stress and anxiety that exist in the street life that I no longer have to deal with. You have to be cautious of other people trying to rob you, set you up, people telling on you. The police. All of these things can happen.
It's damaging your mental health
Hmm.
right there without you even knowing. It's putting all that fear and, like you said, anxiety into you. And now look at what you're doing. Now, if you knew you had to go down that journey to get to where you are today, would have went down that path?
What's crazy? I tell people that sometimes. It was a night I'm high, drunk, and I got on my knees and I prayed
Is this why
for.
you were in?
No, this was why I was still in the streets
Okay.
because the stuff that I was doing, I knew I wasn't living right,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that at any moment something could happen, and
Right.
so I was praying for deliverance. Then I didn't think it would have been this, but that's just
Mm.
what it is.
We just never know what we got to sacrifice and go through when we get on our knees and start praying for those blessings that we want. But God brought you out.
Hmm.
Total, just how many years were you in?
12, a little
12.
over 12.
Look at God. Facing 50 to life,
Hmm.
did 12 and came out, what they say, you went through the fire but came out like you ain't got no evidence of burning. Ain't even smelling like smoke. How about that? God is good. But we get ready to take
Amen.
another quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about his involvement in the community, get you connected with him, and get ready to end out this interview. I thank you guys for joining me. Remember, if you would like to become a guest on the Stubbs Show, you can just email me at thelofnetwork@gmail.com. This is a lovely day. This is a lovely day.
Is it time to get your fluffy, scruffy pet's hair done? Look no further. Pooch Styles Pet Grooming, in operation for 14 years in the Forestville, Maryland area, is ready to serve you. Give us a call at 301-456-7081. 301-456-7081. We're looking forward to servicing you and your furry loved one.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to let you know that I am seeking book authors to become a guest on our show. Now, it was Instagram Live, but now we're on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So this is your way to grow and reach more people. Don't forget to email us at thelofnetwork@gmail.com. And you can become a guest on the show and also have your book placed within the show. All right, you guys. I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Stubbs Show. I hope that you are enjoying this interview just as much as I am, and being inspired, because we sometimes look at returning citizens and just count them out. Do you experience that sometimes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah, and we shouldn't. You know, they have some of the knowledge that a lot of knowledge that we may need and strength. So we're going to continue out this interview with my special guest, author J.S. Russell. And we were just recently talking about his book, but now we're going to go into his community activism and all that he's doing in the community. So my next question is, what inspired you to become a community activist instead of just simply moving on with your own life?
So there's a combination of things that happened. First of all, I looked at my own life and said, what would have made a difference that I didn't end up where I was? So I was just having this conversation with somebody. I said, ultimately, it always come back to me. Like, what would have deterred me from being in the streets? What would have helped me while I was in the streets make better decisions? What would have helped me while I was incarcerated? And so seeing that there were so many people, in the streets and incarcerated dealing with similar things that I was, I said, well, now that I've got the information and I got the stuff, let me share it. Then on top of that, with that relationship with God and learning stewardship,
Mm-hmm.
learning service,
Yeah,
because most of the greats, they served in a great capacity.
that's true.
So it was like, in order to achieve greatness and also fulfill my purpose, this is what I must do.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you are doing that. So as you're out in the community and you're looking at our youth and some of these young adults, maybe 16 to 21, what is something that you would say as black men and as a black man that we need to, one or two things that we need to focus on immediately in order
Um,
to start saving their lives?
I definitely say reading, you
Yeah,
know.
well,
So reading, exposure, um, and I say exposure because I know I had bought into the BS, of what it's supposed to be a man, be hard, be in the streets, stuff like that, knowing that there's no future in that,
mm,
and a lot of that is reinforced with certain things in entertainment, the media, and even in certain neighborhoods.
yeah,
So without having exposure that, there's a better life elsewhere, that you could do something different. And this thing will not only keep you safe, but also get you the success that you want. This is the way, because a lot of times I don't even think guys see that. You
yeah. They
know,
stay on that same
it's
block or within DC, 8 wards.
hmm And another thing is financial literacy, because they
Mm.
say 90% of crime stems from poverty. I learned that because a good man, Kenneth Collins, had a report from the UN, that somebody had sent them in. So I'm like, well, if that's the case, then that's something that we have to go ahead and change. Not only is it the financial literacy, but also the mindset. Because if you don't think that you're able to achieve it, then you won't. But when you understand it, little bit by little bit, you can start investing, save, and learning how to invest in yourself so that you can raise your value, then that can make the difference.
Yes, financial literacy is very important. I always say that some of these kids are robbing and stealing because their parents are out in the streets or maybe locked up in prison. They don't have family support. They got to eat. They want to look like these other kids in school. They want to have something. So many times they don't understand the consequences that come behind it, but they're doing this to survive. And financial literacy is something that we know we weren't taught that much in school about. We did one times two and all these other things, but in algebra. But when you couldn't pass that, you didn't really learn more about math. So as you look at our black men, specifically our black men, what are some things that, or one thing that they need to be doing that can help our children, just in their being,
Showing
or
up.
stop doing?
I say I say showing up because what I've heard is that I've heard some people don't have the patience to deal with the youth.
Mm.
Some of them scared of the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, in all actuality, we were them at one point in time. So I mean, I know me and the men that I deal with, we're not scared of them, because it's like, all right, you ain't even done yet, or
Right.
may have not done what we done. And the rest of it is just that showing time that you care and being consistent.
Yeah, because if the black men don't get out here and show these young boys, us women just can't keep doing it. You
Mhm.
know, we do it, but we're not making them the men that they need to be. So, which takes me into my next question, which is, whew, what daily habits have helped keep you focused on the man God created you to be?
So I had to realize that in prison I had a routine. So it's necessarily for me to also keep a routine in here, out here, excuse me. Um, I still write. I'll take some time, even if it's just writing out my affirmations in the morning or what I want my life to be like. I take a little bit of time to exercise most days in the morning, and just as long as I get my morning right, it usually the rest of the day falls into play because I know pretty much what I have to do in that time and in that day to take care of the major tasks, and then just the rest of it is just stay consistent because the work that I've done while I was in ultimately led up to me being able to be approved to get released. So it's like just knowing that all of this stuff eventually is going to add up to something.
Yeah, once you get the right ingredient, why mix anything new in it? Just
Hmm.
keep going. And you said something that's really important. You make sure you structure your morning properly so that your rest of your day can move into that. And we have a story about that behind the scenes about um, make sure you do what you said you're going to do because he plans his day out. And if you don't confirm the day before, he's going to go ahead and move on with his day without you. You're going to get canceled out. Ain't that right?
You gotta keep it
I
moving.
almost got canceled out. No. You enjoying this interview?
Yes, man.
Okay, I always like to make sure my guests enjoy themselves because you know I'm half just crazy a little bit.
My theory is everybody is.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it's
just
a
a
good
matter
crazy
of,
though.
yeah,
It makes you laugh
yeah, yeah.
crazy. So, what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation?
Well, my legacy, not even just for the next generation, what I would love to do is just, and what I'm working on is changing this whole prison system. My
Okay,
thing is to create the prison to prosperity pipeline, but
okay,
it's not really just that, it's really poverty to prosperity pipeline. And the ways that I plan on doing that is like with the one workbook that I had showed you,
uh huh.
getting that into all of the institutions because it's my lived experience that I know that helped me prepare for my freedom, to also be a productive citizen, but also have to think about different things, whether you're going to be an entrepreneur, pick up a trade, come out here. And that's me investing. And there was a documentary I once watched where some place over in Eastern Europe
Hmm.
and they had empty cells, and the woman said that's because we work on rehabilitation from day one. So if we start doing that in this country, we won't have the highest incarcerated population in the world. We'll have the highest amount of people that have worked on themselves can come back and give impact and develop, and that won't even be a thing. It won't be so much that is punitive, but actually restorative, rehabilitative, and can help people because we all need some help.
We
You know?
do. But I mean, realistically, do you think that they want you doing that type of stuff for our culture and the black race? It's going to be hard.
So that's the thing. The population of both us and Hispanics are growing, constantly. There's things that sometimes I feel like people fear, but then sometimes people not really on that. What I'm doing is not going to just help and benefit us, it's going to help benefit people,
People in
period.
general.
And that's the thing when folks change their mindset of just thinking about, well, this or that, and just understanding it's more of a humanitarian issue than anything. And that's an issue with this country, having it. We've put so much in this social construct of race. Now we know culturally we do have those barriers, we do have red line, and we do have everything that affects our community. We've only been a little over 160 years away from slavery, which we also had to deal with segregation, which we also had to deal with the drug laws, mass incarceration, and everything else that has been against us. But we're a resilient people. And
Yes, we
so
are.
once we go ahead and use all of those other stories of great people and be able to empower ourselves, it's not going to just be Black history. It'll be American history. It
Yeah.
could be global history of people who have overcome. And then that'll be the greater thing because now you're setting a standard for other people. That's one of the things that I find, like, some of my caseload have made come from like Nigeria. All the Nigerians out there, they on them. You better be getting good grades. You better be doing
Yeah.
this. The same thing with like maybe it's Asian culture, which I didn't had anybody in that culture in my caseload. But once we go ahead and set a precedence of this is what we do here, then
Yeah.
it can change everything.
Yeah, I like that. It's going to take more than just us to change us,
Hmm.
anyways. You need those connections in the other avenues and other places. So, my final question for you before we do that, do you have any upcoming events? Anything you want people to support you on? How can they support you? This is your time to let the people know.
Well, not no upcoming events that I could think about, but with SST, hopefully we get another round of funding, and I'll be looking to do more work Capitol Heights, District Heights area, which that's what they're focused on, but I'm not limited to that. So if you want me to help with anything, getting the turning eventually to Advantage 101, workbook into facilities, or any place that you think that that can work, please contact me. Um, Other than that, I'm just out here spreading the message and making sure that I can impact lives.
Um, my final question for you for today is: every guest on the Stubbs Show has taken a leap of faith in some way. Looking back over your life, what leap of faith changed everything? And what would you say to someone who is afraid to take theirs?
When I decided I wasn't going to break law no more, that was a leap of faith. And just being out here, because I tell people, I said, this is the longest that I lived as a legitimate citizen, as an adult in society. Like, I know crime, I was very familiar with that. I could still tell you how to cook up some crack, but that's not
But
my
that's not
life.
yeah, that's not your
Exactly.
life.
So now, even with all of that preparation of being here, where now I got to learn tax law. I got to learn what I need to do to better structure my nonprofit, my for-profit, to have, everything in order, how to do an audit for myself so that I'm making sure that I'm in it. I've never done this before, and I don't know too many people that have done it, not from my folks. So now it's reaching out to other folks, having the ability or taking the chance to get a new education, and all of that stemmed from then, like, no, we're not going to chase money this way, we're going to go ahead and do something different, because nothing said that this writing, even though I may have seemed crazy in the joint talking about I'm going to write my freedom, I'm saying nothing said that that was going to be a guarantee,
Right.
but it was
It
just the
happened.
faith. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God.
Yeah.
So I really put faith into what I was reading and what I believed. I asked it and believed that it is so. So all of those were acts of faith and things that I continue to do, because it has changed my life. Look where I'm at. I'm
Yeah.
talking to you, this beautiful view,
Yes, it is
on a
beautiful
beautiful
out
day.
here. Write out the vision and make it clear.
Hmm.
As you're talking, I'm thinking about one of my favorite movies, which is when you say, cooking up all this stuff. So you could, but you're not. the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And the real Wolf of Wall Street, when he got out of prison, companies started connecting with him because they knew that he was a real hustler. But keep doing what you're doing, you know, legitimately. Keep pushing and pressing other people to do well, and keep shining and being bright and enjoying your freedom. You say this the longest?
Yeah.
It's going to be there forever right here.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm saying. The only time you going back in those bars is to teach and bring some brothers out.
And I do. I go into Prince George's County Detention Center on Monday evenings, you know, to go ahead with that Turning Adversity into Advantage 101. And I got approved to go into Cheltenham to deal with the youth. So as soon as everything gets worked out with that, because I got to change it. I got to do what I can and do my part.
You guys make sure you connect with author J.S. Russell. Let's support this brother on his mission and all that he's doing. I'm so thankful that he came through the Stubbs show and agreed to do this interview and just be open, unscripted with me, because those are the best conversations that I have with people. Remember, you guys, continue to follow us on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, The Stubbs Show. And if you want to be a guest, just inbox me on those platforms. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go ahead and let him go about his way and continue enjoying the day. It's lovely out here. Continue to enjoy your freedom. And let me tell you, this was kind of scripted, the location, but it really was. I was supposed to meet you to just get the book, huh?
Yeah.
And then we said we're going to go ahead and talk and make it happen. I'm glad we did. Mm-hmm. It was nice meeting you.
Likewise.
We got to go, you guys.
Let a nigga wake, I leave the crib to go and get it.
I do.
Oh, and I ain't going back to the crib unless I'm coming back with it.
No way.
Oh, Lord knows I ain't perfect.
Nah.
But he know I hustle for a purpose.
Joe.
When it comes to the grind, I'm a servant. So when you see me shine, I deserve
See
it.
me shine, nigga.
Look me in my eyes, I'm determined.
Y'all know where I come from, man.
Got it out the mud, you know that's obvious. A few years ago, the plug tried starving us. Being broke is a zero tolerance. Hit the field, went for the kill like Spartacus. Go hard for mine, non-stop grind. Round the clock grind, morning to dark time. Turn my losses and struggles into multiple hustles. Came up with systematic schemes to fill up the duffel. Every nigga on your team is a piece of the puzzle. So when a nigga switch sides, he ain't really love you. What you know about loyalty? Fuck going to a club. Would you niggas go to war with me? Tell the truth. Would you lie in the course for me? Fuck rap. This is real nigga poetry. See, I'm like Langston Hughes with some gangster views. They say paper rules, so I'm making moves. Every morning that a nigga wake, I leave the crib to go and get it. Oh, and I ain't going back to the crib unless I'm coming back with it. Oh, Lord knows. Why hustle to pay the rent? Hustle like Larry Flint. Own equity, invest in Merrill Lynch. Fix your credit score, get you a thorough bitch. Buy your mama crib, now that's some thorough shit. Every morning that a nigga wake, I leave the crib to go and get it. Oh, and I ain't going back to the crib unless I'm coming back with it. Oh, Lord knows I ain't perfect, but he know I hustle for a purpose. When it comes to the grind, I'm a servant. So when you see me shine, I deserve it. Look me in my eyes, I'm determined.
Talk to him.
Man, I feel just like I'm Eddie Mathis. Blackwell trench coat when I conceal them ratchets. Somehow it makes me feel I'm controlling the madness. Zoned out funnel, J blowing slow as molasses. Stuck in traffic, thinking about residuals. Diversify, let's make some millions off of minerals. Fuck thinking small, flip it, make it plentiful. 5-star, that mean you dealing with a general. I move strategic, it was written in Morse code, only a few can read it. My goal is to go down one of the truest leaders. When I go, bury me in the tombs of Egypt. Stand firm on what you believe in, heaven or hell, dead or in jail. Can't be scared to rebel, you wanna excel. Niggas ain't getting no mail, they vision is frail. I know niggas in the feds paying rent from a sale, oh yeah. Every morning that a nigga wake, I leave the crib to go and get it. Oh, and I ain't going back to the crib unless I'm coming back with it.
I ain't going back home till I got it.
Lord knows I ain't perfect.
Dig?
But he know I hustle for a purpose.
24
When it
sales,
comes to the
nigga.
grind, I'm a servant.
360